Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event March YouTube channel and the Dragon Suplex Podcasting Network. I know I've been saying this for the past few episodes, but goddamn am I busy. I don't think I've had a day off since the last time I had a day off, if you know what I mean. But that's cool. I did a festival at the brewery I work at yesterday. We have a large amount of property, so people can rent it out. And there was food trucks coming in all day. They set up a big tent the day before. The DJ came in. There's actually really cool. Check out Mike Wawa. He is a DJ who does a duet with a violinist, actually. So check him out. Shout out to Mike Wawa and whoever that guy playing the violin was yesterday. But as soon as they set up, people came. It took about 24 hours to do this whole big production. And then all of a sudden, an hour into what was actually supposed to be the party, a giant windstorm came. And I'm out there all the time selling beers to go at the beer drive-thru. So I knew how to weigh down my tent and everything. But all these people who were trying to sell all the stuff that they had laid out all nice, the wind came, blew all their free shit that they were giving away, took their tents up. They didn't know what to do. I was laughing. I was trying to help out. But they probably saw the big smile on my face and probably thought I was maybe rude at heart, but polite with my actions. I don't know how they perceived me, but I did a great job. I set up the jockey box. I was pouring draft beer for everybody. It was a good time for that one little hour before the rainstorm came in. I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking Jake's going to talk about Noah because of the big show that happened on the 21st. But guys, I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk about Noah. I did not have time to watch Noah because I was setting up that big festival. So next show, I'm going to be talking about Noah, and I'm probably going to be talking about Double or Nothing, giving you guys my predictions for that. But right now, I'm going to be talking about Ric Flair wrestling. A lot of backlash came from this news. He's going to be wrestling in his 70s, but I think in a world where we saw Vince McMahon wrestle in his 70s at the biggest show of the year, we've seen Mike Tyson box a few years ago. I think that this can be done in a safe and entertaining way, and will be good for everybody. The person that I want to see Ric Flair wrestle more than anybody, Satnam Singh. That's right, Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt's protege in AEW. I think you can have Jay Lethal and Sanjay bump and feed for Rick, and then Satnam Singh comes up behind him with the claw, taps out Rick. Then Rick is, putting over the younger talent, giving his tip of the cap to, the people coming up in the business. And, you don't really have Flair doing too much here. He just has the claw put on him, and then he, gets knocked out. And then he doesn't even have to tap. Now that I'm thinking about it, he just has to get knocked out. So then that kind of makes him look good as well. Shows the heart of Flair after all these years, even though he's a fucking senior citizen. That's how I would do it. That seemed to not go over well online. I pitched that idea on Twitter, and people didn't really like that as much as I thought they would. But, you have them come in, Jay Lethal, Sanjay bump and feed for Flair, claw, boom, everyone's at the bar by 11 o'clock that evening. I think you can do it right. What they didn't do right is Sasha and Naomi. They walked out on Raw. I'm sure you guys know about it. If they weren't happy with their job, I am fully in support of them leaving their job, from a personal standpoint. But this whole thing about not respecting them as women's tag team champions is bullshit. I mean, when did they ever respect the women's tag team championship? I mean, even back from it starting at WrestleMania 35, the two best champions ever were the Iconics, who got fired. The Kabuki Warriors, where they kept having Kairi Sane wrestle Nia Jackson getting injured. So, they have their health and they have their job. So they're being respected more than, the most respected tag team champions ever. So as far as, respecting the tag team champions go, they are getting treated pretty damn well. But I'm glad this happened, honestly. It's the most entertaining thing that's happened in WWE since WrestleMania. So Keep it coming. I want to hear Sasha and Naomi's side of the story. Sasha has been a problem child, so to speak, for years, walking, leaving, mental health issues and all this stuff, where Naomi really hasn't ever done this, and she's been in the company a lot longer than Sasha, and she's also married to an Uso, who they've had some problems before with DUIs and stuff, but that means they're attached to Roman Reigns. That means Naomi is semi-attached to Roman Reigns, which means I don't think she's going to get fired here. The person who I think is most likely to get fired, even though she's a bigger star, is Sasha Banks. But I don't know, time will tell. She's got Star Wars money coming in. She doesn't really need the WWE. She's got Star Wars. But jumping to AEW this week, we're going to be ranking every single match from Dynamite and Rampage from worst to first. But before we do that, I'm going to be giving you my overall thoughts on what I think of the stuff that kind of happened between the matches here. John Morrison coming out, or should I say Johnny Elite as the Joker. I thought that was pretty good. The champions challenged two teams that were already feuding. I'm talking about Jurassic Express here. They come out and challenge Starks and Hobbs and Lee and Swerve. I mean, that's ridiculous. That kind of solidifies them as shitty champions. I mean, they're not as over as the Hardys, the Bucks, Red Dragon, Blackpool Combat Club, and you have a team that is more over than them in FTR walking around with 2 tag team championships. So the fact that they have to come in here and interrupt like what would be like the 3rd best tag feud in AEW right now and challenge them to a match, so proving that they're dumb because, why wouldn't you just challenge one of the teams to a straight up match and not 2 of the teams to a match? It's kind of a little ridiculous. And the Bucks versus the Hardys, that's the match that everyone's going to be talking about on Double or Nothing. So I would get these titles off of Jurassic Express as soon as possible because I think they're bringing down the lineage of these titles here. The division is better than the champions at this point. They've done such a good job building the fact that there's tag teams in AEW. It's kind of ridiculous that the tag team titles are being treated like this. I mean, if you were me, I would rather be the Ring of Honor champions like FTR right now than Jurassic Express. I would do the Cage Jungle Boy feud right now. I would have Christian Cage turn on Jurassic Express and have Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. That seems a lot more interesting to me than Jurassic Express right now. I also like the lashings, the Wardlow MJF lashings here, because when it first started, I'm sure I was thinking what everyone else was saying is like they already did this in 2019 with Cody, but then they added a little bit more to it. I mean, Wardlow no-sold it, MJF throwing a borderline tinter tantrum, and then they had to use underhanded means to get at Wardlow. Spears versus Wardlow in a cage with MJF as the referee next week, and I think that's going to lead to the Double or Nothing match with MJF and Wardlow. This is a really good, great build feud. Another great build feud here is Jericho, Blackpool Combat Club, Kingston, Santana, and Ortiz. Jericho cutting a super harsh promo. Got to the point of uncomfortable a little bit, but I think that was the point on all of them, especially Regal. I did like how Mox cuts off the Stadium Stampede idea. I thought that kind of added a little edge to, the good guys' side after Jericho cut that super harsh promo on all of them, which is something that they needed. And I think doing it inside that Vegas arena is going to just help the whole show kind of wake the crowd up, because there's going to be a lot of great matches on the show. You don't want them to kind of get bored of having amazing matches in front of them, kind of like they did with the Adam Cole Hangman Page match from the last pay-per-view. Men of the Year. Sky comes out, he wants his title back. Sammy and Kaz destroyed the TNT title in the back. So I guess there's going to be an even newer TNT title, the 3rd rendition of the TNT title. There's no faces here in this feud. I think what would help this feud a lot is if Sky turned his back on Men of the Year. So you had Men of the Year wanting to face Sky, but Sammy and Kaz were still pissed at Sky for past events and things he might have said about Ty Conti or leaving SCU. You could have two sides mad at Sky without joining each other. And I think that might be how you go, because people want to cheer Sky. they kind of, even so to the point where they teased a split last time Sky wrestled, which I thought would have been a great way to go about it. I hope Daniel Bryan is okay. Apparently he got his leg caught between the rampway and the ring. Alvarez says it's a work, but if you watch Rampage, they barely even show it. So that makes me think it's not a work, but hopefully it doesn't ruin the pay-per-view. He's been on fire ever since he joined AEW. So that would be a shame to see him go, especially with Yuta over in Japan. So that would leave Moxley kind of on his own. But let's rank every single match from Dynamite and Rampage from worst to first. 10 matches. Number 10, Shawn Spears versus Damon. How random was this that they had Big Damo come out just for this? I mean, did they run out of members of Bear Country here to do the job? Do they not have a big enough roster? C4, 1, 2, 3, Shawn Spears wins. Swerve and Lee versus the Workhorsemen. Love seeing the Workhorsemen. They kind of came up in the area that I'm from PWX, a company out of Charlotte. I would see them wrestle a few times. So it's cool to see them on TV. But Lee and Swerve made short work of them. Double stomp sitting powerbomb combo for the finish. 1, 2, 3. Number 8, Chris Statlander versus Red Velvet for the Owen. Final slice. 1, 2, no. So here you have Chris Statlander kicking out of Red's finish, and then she steals one, rolls her up 1, 2, 3. The baddies attack Chris after the bell, so I guess she gets a TBS title shot at Double or Nothing now. Maki Ito versus Britt Baker. I love Maki Ito as the Joker, and I love Maki Ito. She's a goofball, a comedy wrestler, but it all kind of just makes sense. She comes out singing because she used to be a singer before she was a wrestler. And she's hard-headed, which is good because that's a physical attribute that you could have that would help you in a wrestling match. But then it also shows her character because she's hard-headed. So she got kicked out of this apparently pop idol girl group in Japan because of how stubborn she is. She flicks off, her opponents because she's stubborn. So she's literally hard-headed as well as being figuratively hard-headed at the same time. I feel like this is kind of a character that I can wrap my head around and enjoy the comedy of it, rather than there's some characters in AEW who they seem so much comedy that they kind of don't really have a lot of traits in the wrestling ring. But I love Maki Ito here. She gets hit with a forearm and starts crying, but only to lure Britt Baker in. I thought that was pretty good. But then she gets caught with a lockjaw and taps out. Britt Baker advances in the Owen tournament. Hardy versus Cole for the Owen tournament on the men's side. Cole attacks before the bell. Super kick by Cole. Stunner by Jeff. Swanton, no one home. Boom knee, 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole advances. Bucks come out and attack Darby. Attack the Hardys, and then Darby and Sting has seen enough. They come in for the save a bit, and then you get the Bucks kind of challenging the Hardys later on Rampage. So we're getting Hardys Bucks. We've seen it at Ring of Honor for the ladder match, and I don't mind seeing it again here. Number 5, House of Black versus Dark Order and Fuego. Fuego shows some fire here. 10 is impressive as well. Big Gonzo bomb from Brody. 1, 2, 3. House of Black at the victory. Phoenix and Kyle for the Owen. Phoenix does a lot of wild shit. You gotta love it. Kyle catches him. Good match. Kyle taps him out. So Kyle's advancing. So I think we have Kyle and Joe. And then you have Adam Cole. And man, I'm slipping. I do not know who Adam Cole is wrestling. But I'm sure he's a great competitor. We're moving on to number 3 out of 10, Blackpool Combat Club versus Dante and Seidel. This was a great match. Danielson beating on Dante like he was Bob Holly on Tough Enough. Hot tag by Seidel. Doesn't last long. Dante always impressive here. The top rope double underhook, and then Danielson rolls through into a crossface. That should have been the finish. That was my favorite moment of Dynamite. That was so slick. But paradigm shift, 1, 2, 3. Blackpool Combat Club get the victory. Number 2 out of 10. Samoa Joe versus Johnny Elite. John Morrison as the Joker. I don't know who I like better, Maki Ito or John Morrison or Johnny Elite here. You gotta love the gimmick where he just calls himself Johnny and then something that has to do with the company name. Johnny Mundo in Lucha Underground. Johnny Impact in Impact Wrestling, and now Johnny Elite. two legends. First time ever wrestling, gotta love that. Muscle Buster, Johnny slips out, hits the sloppiest 450 I've ever seen in my life, goes for a split-legged moonsault senton, but Joe gets his knees up. Muscle Buster 1, 2, 3. Samoa Joe gets the victory and moves on. Hangman Page versus Takeshita, DDT standout. This dude just, if I was Tony Khan, I would sign this guy. He's, got that style that, you like in AEW, that people like in AEW. He's got the size for that fits the palate of the traditional American audience. This guy's got it all. He makes me want to watch DDT. Maybe I'll start reviewing DDT just for Takeshita. CM Punk on commentary here. Hangman Page goes for his patented moonsault to the floor. Blue Thunderbomb. Huge senton over the top rope from Takeshita. Wild German from Hangman Page. Hits the GTS 1, 2, 3. In case you didn't know, the GTS CM Punk's move. CM Punk on commentary said, I'm the man who made that move popular. I'm sure Kenta is sitting at home icing his face from Wrestle Kingdom hearing him say that, and that probably perturbed him a little bit, but he did say it. And, Hangman Page versus CM Punk. I'm already excited. They don't have to do a lot on TV to help me get excited for that match, and they're not doing a lot on TV, which is okay. But that's going to be a solid main event for the pay-per-view. And then you got the Hardys and Bucks on that same pay-per-view. That show is booked there. Everything else is just extra. I guess, you have the finals of the Owen Hart tournament from the men's and the women's side. Just fill the card up with anything, and then it's good because you have, the two finals, the Hardys versus the Bucks, CM Punk and Hangman Page. Oh, yeah, and Wardlow versus MJF. So those 5 matches right there are going to be really, really good. You also got that big brawl with the Jericho Appreciation Society, Blackpool Combat Club. That's going to be crazy. Well-built show. Hopefully they don't shit on the Hangman Page match just like they did for, I think it was Full Gear. I think CM Punk is over enough to where people are going to be a little more excited. They're not going to be chanting Adam versus Adam or whatever the hell they chanted at that last show. This is the show for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, fly high. I'm out.